This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
Red hot comic book movie news, shooting up your butthole. The Weekly Planet, the Weekly Planet.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Weekly Planet, where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. My name is James, also known as Mr. Sunday, and with me, as always, is my co-host Nick Mason, who's got a great 420 joke ready to go. He's loaded it up in the bong.
Oh, yes,
and
go
he's
on.
about to do a big rip. And by rip, I mean joke.
Oh. Gosh.
We have to acknowledge
James,
it, Mason.
you've really...
Some people,
James, here's
people
the
have been
thing.
anticipating this.
James, you've really put me on the spot here because of how stoned I am. And I'm not prepared because of how stoned I am because of the 420 episode. I'm off my game because of how stoned I am.
You must be bloody stoned when you came up with that joke, mate.
None of this is anything, but we're not going to start again. Why would we?
You would have been stoned when you came out with that joke about you being too stoned to come up with a joke.
Nice, terrific, great,
Thanks.
good.
Anyways, this week we've got our first big release of the year.
We were thinking about doing stoner movies or whatever it is, or like movies to watch when you're stoned, but we'd have to bring in experts.
Yeah,
We'd have to
exactly.
bring in our real life friends.
And a lot of those movies, like, just insufferable, like hard, difficult to watch under normal conditions. You know? Anyways.
I thought initially you were going to say Hard Target. Like in a lot of those stoner movies, like the Steven Seagal classic Hard Target, Van Damme.
Do you mean like movies that like you enjoy more?
I think
stoned,
it's like...
or they have to have like...
I think it's like Christmas movies.
Or like Dude, Where's
there's
My
two
Car?
meanings.
Or like...
It's like Fortnightly
Yeah.
or Christmas movies. It's either movies people watch when they're stoned or movies that are predominantly about getting stoned.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So like all the Cheech and Chongs.
You'd have to be bloody stoned to come up with a movie like Moonfall or absolutely creatively bankrupt. Am I right, Mason? We are going to talk about Moonfall this week, Roland Emmerich's latest. We're also going to talk about some Marvel news, including Spider-Man and Loki, a potential date on Obi-Wan, delays but not dismays, and then Gambit news.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I heard about Gambit news, actually.
you know
Okay,
Gambit
right.
news.
It's more Channing Tatum and his sad news, right?
That's true. He has another movie to promote, so he's going to talk about Gambit, so that will promote his new movie.
Nice, great.
Yes. I think it's called I've Got a Dog or whatever. Or this I found this dog.
Oh, it's not I've got to rescue Sandra Bullock. It's not that one. When's
No, that's
that
a
out?
different one.
Ah, he's got a lot of stuff on the boil. Good on him.
He's just hanging out with different people and animals, isn't he?
Yeah.
Which I guess is movies.
Yeah, and fame and celebrity.
Fame and celebrity.
Oh my God. They just take you into some sort of suite and there's just other celebrities and little dogs and such. You know? And gift bags. You pick up a gift bag with a dog in it, you take it home.
Oh, no thanks. No thanks. I'll take the bag, but you can keep the dog. I got enough dogs. Mason, time codes if you do want to jump ahead. This is via Good Morning America. Loki Season 2 is confirmed. Not only would it be confirmed, but it's also filming in summer of 2022, which makes me think early next year?
And when you say summer of 2022,
Yes.
whose summer?
American American Northern Hemisphere, real authentic summer.
Okay, so that's June, July.
Yeah.
Ish.
Okay,
great.
Yeah. And on top of that, you probably already saw this, but Kate Herron, who directed and wrote a bunch of the stuff in the previous series, is not returning. We already knew that, so we don't know who's kind of involved, what direction it's going to go. Probably more of the similar things with time variance and etc. But also, are we seeing Kang before then? Or was Ant-Man after that?
It's probably in Multiverse of Madness, right?
I don't know, because that's like other things. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Probably, actually. I don't know.
100% we're going to see him in it because it's a cameo we could have.
That's
and people are like, oh my God, from Loki. You remember Loki?
I recognise him, and Spider-Man's behind him. He's going to garrote him with a piece of a web. So that's good. I mean, that debuted, like March last year or
100
something?
years ago, yeah.
March last year.
My God.
What have they been doing? What have they been smoking and doing? This is by a deadline. We have to work that in every bit of news. This is by a deadline, Mason.
Go on.
I thought this, I caught this like days later. Somehow this
I've got a deadline here, which is to say I'm at the end of my joint right now. I've run out of joint currently.
You could roll another joint.
I'm too stoned.
Just eat it.
It's the inbuilt safety feature.
Okay, so Sony have been talking to...
Otherwise I die from marijuana.
Marijuana, yes. Sony has been talking to Dakota Johnson about playing Madam Webb.
I like to think they negotiate. You've just said Sony has been talking to Dakota Johnson.
Yeah.
I like to think they communicate exclusively through like customer service web chat.
Yeah, right.
She's like, oh,
My remote's not connecting to. Hey, what we got ya?
what we got is the role of Madam Web.
What? What's?
Oh my God.
We talked about Madam Web recently because we did a Spider-Verse of sorts animated. Caravan of
that's
Garbage
right, yeah.
episode
Yeah.
where it's this woman and she's sitting in a big. She's blind and she's old and she's sitting in a
big wicker chair.
Wicker and it's got like spider webs going off.
I
it,
feel
and
like-
she's got one long leg.
Yeah.
I suspect.
It's sort of a cobwebbed wicker chair, like
Yeah.
a wicker chair that's been in the shed for too long.
And she's multi-dimensional and
Yeah.
can see the future. And
But we evidently are not up to date in the Madam Web situation because I think that particular Madam Web is not in continuity anymore. Or
Madam's
she
dead.
died. So the current
Madam Dead, I said. You probably missed it because you were too stoned.
because I was too stoned. Yeah, I didn't hear or I ignored it. Because I was too stoned.
Yeah.
Any mistake or mean thing I do in this
Yeah.
episode is because I'm too stoned.
Yeah, any editing area, any even but yeah.
Too stoned, mate. You're telling me too
editing
stoned, mate.
error that Collins may happen to make, which he wouldn't, it's because he's also too stoned.
Too
He's getting into
stoned.
the spirit of it.
That's exactly right.
We made him.
So the current Madam Web, as I understand it, is Julia Carpenter, who's the second Spider Woman. So you know the one that black suit
okay.
Spider Woman
Yep.
with the red hair.
Well, that's
She's
what I
become
was going to
Madam Web.
say, because you need to have it an action movie, not an old lady sitting in a chair.
Yeah, right.
Being like, something's happening and you're converging a
Yeah.
dimension.
I also wonder if perhaps it's just occurred to me now. I wonder if that's because the Spider-Man universe, it's one of those things where there's a lot of characters called Spider-Man. There's a lot of Spider-Women as
Hmm.
well. And if might want to call them by different names. So this one, because
Yeah.
there's this and there's the Jessica Drew Spider-Woman.
Yeah.
And then there's Spider-Gwen, who is technically, I think, in her own universe called Spider-Woman, maybe?
Or Silk
Ghost,
Spider.
Ghost Spider.
Ghost Silk- yeah.
So I think maybe they're just like, okay, let's brand them separately. Let's give them all.
Yeah.
In fact, maybe that's the reason why Julia Carpenter Spider-Woman is Madam Web now, to differentiate them. So
Yeah.
basically, she still has her old Spider-Man, Spider-Woman powers, but now she has telepathy and whatever. She may not even have telepathy in this.
And she also doesn't have like regular Spider-Man powers, does she?
No, she's got like superhuman strength and, well, she's got a lot of them, but it's
Yeah, but it's not the same mutation thing.
no, so
situation,
she
yeah.
was
Well,
Julia.
the first one. Oh,
Yeah.
wait, I don't know.
Julia Carpenter Spider-Woman was like tricked by her roommate into being involved in some sort of experiment
Yeah.
by a government commission, and they gave her superpowers.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's really
Just
exciting.
injected her with all sorts of stuff. So she's got like superhuman strength and speed and sticks to walls and whatever, but she can do like the psychic webs.
And so I was like, oh, like you hit them and they're like, my brain.
No, they're just like regular webs, but they're like mind-powered webs.
Oh, okay. That's good too, I guess.
But also in this, I guess, telepathy and whatever. But maybe not. Who knows?
Who does know?
I mean, maybe they're just going with Madam Web because it's not Spider Woman, and they have plans for another Spider Woman, which they'll never get to.
Yeah, it could be true too.
Yeah.
This also is going to be directed by S.J. Clarkson, and she has directed episodes of Succession, Defenders, Jessica Jones, a bunch of other stuff. So it seems like a good choice, but also we don't really know what Sony are doing, or if they know what they're doing, or if we know what we're doing.
I wonder if they're going to attempt to tie this to the MCU.
Yeah, probably. Well, it's all lousely connected, isn't it, now,
Yeah,
anyway?
yeah.
So that's the way it goes. Remember, Morbius coming up very soon.
God, yes, please.
Before we have to get through Batman first, then Morbius. So if you can just wait, Mason.
Do you think they will attempt to put more MCU characters into their Spider-Man movies? Do you think they'll?
No, I think they'll keep it as separate as they need to.
Do you think they'll put Spider-Man in a Madam Web movie?
Probably, yeah, because that one they can do for free without making
true.
any kind of deal happen. You know what I mean? Also, some sources have stressed it's possible the project could turn into something else,
Sure, yeah.
whatever that means.
A mobile game.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, they're probably, if they're doing Madam Web, they're probably talking to her and talking internally about which version of Spider-Woman they could make.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's probably what's going on.
Yeah,
And they probably think, well, Madam Web, we can brand it differently, like you mentioned. So, yeah.
Also, potentially, maybe they don't have the copyright to, because also all the Spider Women and all that sort of stuff. All that is probably tied up in like animated series and games, and like it might be one of those things where they're like, we want to use the most recent Spider Woman or Silk or whoever, but they don't have the copyright because they're tied up in something else.
Exactly,
An animated
yeah,
series
yeah.
that never happened or something like that. So they're just like, we'll do Madam Web, but she'll have all the Spider-Woman's powers. So I don't know.
And that's fine.
It's a nightmare is
Yeah.
what it is.
Also, I don't know if you saw, not to spoil The Mandalorian last week too much. Not Mandalorian, what it is essentially at this point. But in the
James,
book
are you
of
too
Boba
stoned?
Fett, I might be,
Are you
Mason.
too stoned to differentiate between
might-
the Book of Boba Fett and the Mandalorian?
I might be too stoned, Mason, but I hope people are following along because, not to spoil the whole thing, but Cobb Vanth makes a return, Timothy Olyphant, and Chuck Wendig, who created that character for a book a few years ago, like 5-6 years ago now, probably more. For the new, he brought in Cobb Vanth and loosely kind of was like, maybe he's got the armor of Boba Fett or whatever. And then they end up bringing in, anyway, he wrote a tweet that says, I always dig it when big media properties have a special thanks for the writers and creators who contributed to their worlds and stories. And it's a bummer when they don't do that.
I wonder why.
I bring this up for absolutely no reason at all. And I will almost certainly delete this tweet. So yeah, that's not very cool.
Has he
is
deleted
it?
the tweet?
No, it's still
And
live.
for the record, have they in fact thanked him for?
I mean, the thing about like a lot of the Disney stuff is they change it on the fly. Remember
Right.
Jean's guy?
Yeah, they
He
got
was
rid of Jane's
gone
guy,
in like
yeah.
a couple of days.
Should have kept in Jane's guy.
I agree, excuse me. Denim's in the Star Wars universe.
Denim's the Star Wars universe, but also
Denim.
we've done this to death. But I think that felt like old school, 70s Star Wars.
I'm working on an old school 70s.
We forgot to
90s
take
Star
a
Wars
guy
thing,
out.
yeah.
You know, they were probably too stoned.
They might have been too stoned.
That guy was too stoned.
Stonewashed denim. Yeah.
Correct. Yes,
We can still do it when we're stoned, can't
that's
we?
right.
We're making
How about this?
big jokes.
Stoned Wars.
Pretty. Stoned weed? I was going to go star weed and then...
Oh, Star Weed's good too. Yeah, that's even better actually. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, and you know what the logo has.
Star Doobs.
Doob Wars?
Now that assumes that feel, I don't want wars anywhere in my star.
Oh, okay.
I did say stoned wars, but I was very stoned back then when I said that. So because that implies like
Yeah.
we want it to be more mellow. I
More
think.
peace.
Yeah.
Okay, There you go. Great stuff.
Dude Vader.
Speaking of Star Wars,
Go on.
there's an Obi-Wan Kenobi. What is wrong with me?
You're stoned. You're too stoned.
I'm not actually stoned, Mason. It was just a joke. Unless you're really stoned.
Yeah, brother.
So there's an Obi-Wan Kenobi comic coming in May, which is going to tell a bunch of his backstory and early days and various adventures. There's a journal in the comics of Obi-Wan that Luke will flick through every now and then on a long X-Wing flight while he's peeing into his big briefs that he has to wear on those adventures.
Yeah.
And
His X-wing piss briefs. Yes.
that's right. So that X-Wing suit starts out white.
That's
and
the
then it's
lowest
just
rung.
like-
That's the lowest rung in the rebellion armies. The guy has to wring those out. all the X-wing pilots get back, and he's crossing his fingers like, oh god, I hope.
God, how long they've been up
Yeah.
there? Oh god.
I hope most of Red Squadron don't make it back.
Talk about bloody Brown Squadron.
Oh,
All right, Mason.
no.
Anyway, so that means, and this is also according to the Hollywood Reporter and a few other unconfirmed kind of sources, but Obi-Wan is going to debut in May sometime. Probably maybe just before this comic comes out or after. I don't have the exact details. Do you want me to have the exact
I
details?
would love you to have the exact details, but I guess
Yeah.
we can't have everything, can we?
That's right, we can't. And that's exciting, though. And that's also the month of Doctor Strange and et cetera and other things, probably.
Yeah.
All right, moving along.
Go on.
But not too far ahead. Delays but not dismays, Mason.
Oh, but
This is via Bloomberg. So, Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. It's video games, Mason.
that's right.
That was supposed to come out in 2023, but now 2022, but now it's being pushed to 2023.
No.
It's been said possibly due to Gotham Knights, which is another DC game, which is coming out in 2022. You know, the one where Batman's dead, but guess what? He's not really
He's
dead.
not dead, absolutely.
He's not dead
not.
at all.
He's going to be in a Quarter Owl's mask,
Yeah,
and
he's
they're going to
gonna-
fight him. They're like, this guy's got fighting. Fighting's is very similar to Batman. How does he know all the moves? It's almost like he taught us all the moves because he's Batman. This guy. It's Batman.
Exactly. It's like when, remember, to spoil Arkham Knight, that game from 7 years ago now.
Yeah.
But like everyone at the start is like, is the Arkham Knight Jason Todd? And they're like, no, we've created a whole new... Okay, it is. You got us.
Yeah.
All right. Did you ever get the good ending on that? If you get all the Riddler trophies
No,
and all the
I'll
whatevers?
never 100% a game in my entire life.
Me neither. It seemed impossible as a kid. When it'd be
Yeah.
like, find 50 stars. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
so I'm not doing it now, am I?
Now that YouTube can just give you the good ending.
Yeah, give me the good ending, YouTube, already. So anyway, that's not, that's, I guess it's it makes sense to space them out. That Suicide Squad game is probably one I'm most looking forward to because it's
That's how they get you. Because
how
they
they
get
get
you. You get Gotham Knights to tide you over until the Suicide
You're
Squad.
absolutely
goes
right.
down.
That's what I'm going to do. So, but then again, Gotham Knights. I like those games in general. They're very good, and we haven't had one in a while. So let's play some video games.
Do you think it'll be like putting on an old pair of shoes, or do you think it'll be like, like when you go back to it and you're like, oh, it's the Arkham combat? Are you going to be like, this is the best? Or are you going to be like, yeah,
Nah,
we did
because
this,
it's always
didn't we?
like, last game I played was like Ghost of Tsushima, and the combat's like different, and parry isn't triangle and whatever, then, and then I have to readjust my brain. And then, but it's fine. It's not even an issue. You just, you do a new thing, don't you?
Speaking of readjusting your brain.
Okay.
Doobs.
I said before I wasn't stoned. I actually am.
Whoa, dude. Dude.
Dude. Do you like Gambit?
Yeah. I mean, no. But I'm largely indifferent.
Yeah, but you know who he is.
Yeah.
X-Men character Gambit. So Channing Tatum spoke with Variety about the cancelled Gambit movie. So the studio didn't want Tatum and Reed Carolyn, who directed Magic Mike and his new movie Dog. That's what it's called, Dog. Directing the feature due to their relatively amateur status as filmmakers. Carolyn says, we wanted to make a romantic comedy superhero movie. The thesis was the only thing harder than saving the world is making a relationship work. It's said to be kind of also in the style of like Deadpool, because I don't know if you remember.
Yes.
But everything had to be Deadpool for a minute back then.
I do remember that, yeah.
That's right. And Channings Tatum said, as you call him, they would call him flamboyant in his description. I wouldn't say he was just the coolest person. I wouldn't say that. He was just the coolest person. He could pull anything off. Most superheroes, their outfits are utilitarian, Mason. Batman's got his belt. Gambit's like, no, this shit's just fly, bro. This shit walked down the Paris runway last year. He's wearing the stuff that's so dope because he loves fashion.
Now that's fashion.
That is fashion.
Okay.
Big sock mask.
The big sock mask, tight leggings. Maybe they've got some pink on him. He's wearing a trench coat.
Yeah.
Sure. Got that stick.
That's why he's got that stick. Also, Disney killed the merger when that happened.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, once Gambit went away, I was traumatized. I shut off my Marvel machine. I haven't been able to see any of the movies. I love the character. It was just too sad. It was like losing a friend because I was so ready to play him. I think this could still happen.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, look, I think he'd be cool. And he was going to be Gambit in X-Men Origins Wolverine at one point. And I think maybe if he had have got that role, then that would have given him like the kind of Ryan Reynolds juice to kind of see it through in another direction. Or maybe it would have burnt it for him completely.
It could have been the terrible movie that produced two good franchises. That would have been interesting.
And one pretty solid video game.
But instead we got who? Taylor something?
Taylor Kitsch.
Who
was also John Carter of Mars. And he was Friday Night Lights. And he was another movie, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough. I don't even know. Oh, Battleship. There
we go.
There's
Nice.
one. There's one for free.
The next Taylor Kitsch movie is going to cost you. If you want us to think of another one, PayPal us $1.
Not a lot of news this week, Mason. Actually, we do have a bit of Marvel/crossover Moonfall news, which I can talk about.
Do we?
When we cover the movie Moonfall, or as I'd like to call it, Moondependence Reign. Because boy, is it a lot like Independence Day, and it's a very grey and rainy movie, isn't it?
It is. It's very. Are we in the review? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, we're actually in the review.
We're in the review. Yeah,
You were too high, Mason. We've been doing the review for 40 minutes.
Oh no! What did I say? I'll say anything. Oh no.
So yeah, what was your experience of? Actually, let's talk box office first.
Okay, great.
Of Moondependence Reign. So it lost out to Jackass Forever, and that got a $20 million opening with its R rating. This is in the US, which is good because those movies don't cost much to make. This is probably going to make around $9 million.
That's less than it cost to make.
Yes, and it's also, we don't know at this point, but it could debut at number 3 instead of number 2 because Spider-Man could beat it.
Just swoop in again and wow.
Just doing all of that. And the other thing is, I don't know if you know this, but this cost $146 million to make.
That's a lot of money.
A bit of other news here is, despite Moonfall...
Imagine if there were 146 million weeds.
That would be too many. You would simply be crushed under the weight of it, Mason.
What a way to go, though, right? All right.
I mean, you'd still be crushed, so I don't know whether you'd be like...
Yeah, what do I go there?
I don't know if it would be any good.
Absolutely
I
legendary.
mean, it would still be like unpleasant as hell. Like, I just don't think it would be good. Anyways, Mason,
Go on.
stop what you're doing and listen.
All right.
So Variety said that despite Moonfall's misfire release, that theatrically it's always a big advertisement for home entertainment and airplane viewing, because that's what you
Okay,
want.
sure. Because that's how you want to watch an epic disaster movie. You want to watch it on a plane.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to watch it in the little screen.
You want to watch a big grey movie on a small grey screen. Realize as well that Moonfall was greenlit for a pre-pandemic offshore market. Like, for example, like Geostorm, which made 85% of its global $221 million abroad. So not state. So it's not really a big stateside release. However, because of the restricted seating and closures in certain territories, the outlook for Moonfall overseas isn't promising.
Oh.
What do you think the story was?
Oh, no. All right. Okay, so... Boy, it's hard enough to do this when I'm not stoned, but
Yeah,
I'm currently
no,
the
yeah,
most
yeah,
stoned
man,
I've ever
yeah.
been. So Patrick Wilson
Yep.
and Halle Berry are astronauts.
Yep.
They're up in space years ago doing some astronaut stuff.
They're doing the Sandra Bullock one. They're doing the start of that movie.
Gravity.
They're doing Gravity.
They're doing Gravity.
They're doing a Gravity together.
Anyway, those two are doing a Gravity together. They're just work friends doing a Gravity,
Yeah.
obviously. But then there's a big disaster, and
a big Gravity happens.
there's a big time Gravity happens.
Yeah.
But then crazy stuff, and then Halle Berry gets knocked out, and Patrick Wilson pilots the space shuttle back to Earth, and he's like, "I saw some crazy stuff up there," and they're like, "We don't believe you, Patrick Wilson.
We will not believe you, Patrick Wilson.
So you're out. You're out on your ear,
Yeah.
Patrick Wilson. Go
drink.
drink. Go do another movie with Jackie L. Haley. Do it. Do a third one. Why wouldn't you?
Why not? What's the second one?
Little Children?
Didn't say it.
It's from a long time ago.
Oh, okay. Before Watchmen, after Watchmen?
Before Watchmen.
Before Watchmen, the comic.
Yes.
Wow, I'm too stoned for this. Anyway, go on, mate.
But anyway, then crazy stuff happens. It's happening to the moon. What's the moon going to do?
The moon's on a fucking collision course with Planet E, Earth. Abbreviation. I did
Oh,
that,
my
yeah.
goodness.
But so it's and then they have to stop it. How do you stop the moon? It's got some stuff in it you can kind of mess around with.
Yeah.
Spoilers?
Not yet, no.
Come on, Mason.
Look, I had a good time. This is not a good movie, but I had a good time watching this movie.
Look-
and I'll tell you why. Because I love seeing Patrick Wilson.
He's great.
Love seeing Halle Berry.
Yep.
Love John Bradley. That
John
guy.
Bradley was good.
The guy. The
I loved seeing Goat Feet Guy from Inhumans as Halle Berry's ex-husband.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
She's like, I just need a few more time. I just need some more time.
No. She needs a few more. Don't mess up the quote. She said, I need a few more time.
Don't nuke the moon.
Yeah, don't nuke the moon.
Which is a conversation that actually happens in this.
Yeah.
But yeah, but you're right. In terms of like, it's very silly. It didn't make me as mad as Geostorm. But it's also like, it's the people in it that kind of carry this more than the spectacle or any of the... I mean, you're not going to get any solid science out of this, obviously. There's a bit at the start when Patrick Wilson gets back into the spaceship to like rescue because Halle Berry's knocked out and he's just instantly out of his spacesuit. My understanding is that that's like a whole process, I'd imagine. I think so.
No, he went down a pole and he flipped a switch. In a spaceship, you can do it Batman 1960 style.
Oh, okay.
That's where they got the technology. They were inspired by it. You know how the iPad was inspired by the technology in Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Is that true?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
Batman
That's
66.
this, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I was going to say this is obviously very reminiscent of it is very definitively a Roland Emmerich movie.
Yeah.
But I think it's a bit more. To me it's a bit more smartly written than like
Really?
This was a pleasant surprise considering probably the last. He did Geostorm?
He did Geostorm, yeah.
I think probably.
It's better than Geostorm.
It's better than Geostorm, and it's certainly better than Independence Day Resurgence, which I feel is like the lowest bar.
Okay, yeah.
That's
about
atrocious, and this is way more smartly written than that. I think.
I think, though, a lot of that is the people in it.
Well, it also is that I can't think of anybody who was in Independence Day Resurgence.
Liam Hemsworth.
No, he wasn't in it.
No, he was in it.
Oh, what?
And other people.
Other people are also in it.
The president was in it.
Yeah. But this is. Yeah, and I think they know, and this movie is very sincere. It's a very earnest movie. It's not like, you know what it felt? It feels like the characters in this movie are doing the exact insane things that characters in a Marvel movie would be doing.
Oh, I got things to say about that, mate.
But Marvel movies, it's like a quip a minute, and everybody in this is very like sincere. There are some jokes, but it's like everybody's quite. It's very straight faced, and there's never a big bizarre thing happens and somebody goes, well, that just happened.
Yeah,
you know, there's none of that.
No, well, I wish they did, Mason.
Oh, you
That's
think
my
so?
favorite kind of movie. Speaking of Marvel, though, this is from Roland Emmerich himself. He was asked
Something
about...
happens and somebody's like, shouldn't have been the day I gave up weed. And I haven't, and I won't. I never will.
Yeah, no, I remember Captain America: Civil War. We all do. But so this is what he said about when asked about like comic book movies.
Who's this, Roland Emmerich?
He says Marvel and DC Comics and Star Wars are pretty much taken over. It's ruining our industry a little bit because nobody does anything original anymore. You should make bold new movies, And I think actually Christopher Nolan is the master of that. He is someone who can make movies about whatever he wants. I have it a little bit harder, but still. But I still have a big enough name, especially when a disaster movie or some sort of or something with a disaster theme. But I would also argue that, like the things that he hates about cinema now, he built a franchise, like not a franchise. He built like a genre around it, or at least elevated it to a different level. Because if you look at like Godzilla and 2012 and The Day the Earth got all frozen and all of
Isn't that also 2012?
Yeah, no, they're different movies.
Okay, great.
I think. Yeah, Day After Tomorrow is a different movie.
Yeah. What's 2012 then?
2012 is the one where the Mayan calendar.
Mayan calendar, okay.
I don't think I've actually seen it. So my point is, like, he's been making like the same kind of movie also for 20, and there's been a few exceptions. He's branched out a little bit here and there, but like basically the formula for like this kind of movie. And when I'm talking in generalities here, because some of the the tropes and characters I mentioned here, they might be assigned to different people, but essentially it's like there's a misunderstood genius that nobody believes, like him or her, about a bad thing that's going to happen or has happened, and they're divorced or like estranged. And kids don't respect him and whatever, and they're like, I just got to get to my son. I just got to get to my son. Anyway, they're proven right, and they bring into the Pentagon. The Pentagon's like, we don't like having you here, but you proved that the moon had a big fart in it or whatever's going on, right? And then And then at the very end, they solve the thing and they use a science and whatever, and the Earth is fucked, like absolutely fucked, and everyone's like, "Yay!" But it's like you rolled the moon over the Earth; it just fucking laps of the Earth like it was doing donuts on it.
Yeah,
it's
that's
fucking
right.
tearing it up, mate.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And that's this.
Yeah, well, I think you're right in the sense that what Roland Emmerich is saying, not that superhero movies have ruined cinema. It's more that they've taken over from his preferred brand of cinema.
That's what I'm saying.
And he can't just do those anymore.
And also, like, kudos, because, like, he made a lot of money and he made a lot of people happy, and people like a lot of those movies. I've talked about it before. I do not. I'm not a fan of those. We didn't even mention Geostorm also follows, like, pretty much that exact pattern. And it didn't have a Geostorm. Oh, Mason, don't even get me started. But I think he wrote that one. He didn't direct that one also.
But does this one technically have a moonfall?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
It falls fucking hard, mate.
It does fall hard.
Yeah. So, anyway, there's also a character who's like, I love Elon Musk. Whoa, what would Elon do?
Well, there is some very... I mean, it is a...
Lexus.
It is a reality of movie making at this point that you have to do some... In order to recoup the cost of a lot of stuff, you have to put some product placement in.
Yep.
But some people make it subtle and some people do not. So Patrick Wilson's character, he's a divorced dad, and the new dad is a successful rich man, and he runs a Lexus dealership.
Yep.
And
Michael Pena, he's good.
Yeah, he's good.
Let him be funny, because he is funny.
Yeah. But
let him be funny.
There's some loving shots of those Lexus logos.
Boy, are there.
Et cetera. And there's a moment, I think, where like somebody puts the Lexus into like highway mode so it can really get going.
And also, like, it's interesting.
During that entirely CGI
sequence.
Car chase.
What's interesting about that moment is, like, it's also kind of played like a joke, because, like, that kind of, like, function on a car, like, it's the difference isn't like that significant. You know what
difference
I mean?
is regular car that can survive a moonfall. There's also
jump onto a big rock
there's some very noticeable SpaceX.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I would have loved it if Elon, because they have to fill up the spaceship at SpaceX.
Yeah.
And I would have loved it like Elon was up there. He's like, hello, I'm here to I'm here to fill up your fucking whatever.
Do you want a chip in your brain while we're here? No, Elon. No, the world will be destroyed if we do that.
Let me brand your shuttlecraft. But and just those lines of, like, I think also if you're a genius, which I am not, like John Bradley's character in this is a genius, you would not like Elon Musk. You wouldn't be like, I love Elon. There's two separate lines, it's two separate scenes. I love Elon, and what would Elon do? And what would Elon do? He'd probably say he was going to build a big flamethrower to knock the moon out of orbit, and then he wouldn't. And then we'd all be killed.
Great.
That's what he would probably do.
Yeah.
But
there's also some inexplicable advertising for, I don't even know how to pronounce it, but Kaspersky antivirus program.
Oh, okay. I don't
It's
remember
on
that at
it's
all.
on the shuttle for some
I
reason.
went to the toilet. I don't know.
Okay.
Man.
Well, there's at least two of those, and then there's some very sort of like this is a co-production between, I think, an American production company and a German production company and a
Sure.
Chinese,
Yep.
Tencent, whoever
Definitely.
they are, and so there's
They
like.
own Fortnite, a bunch of other shit. I believe.
Yeah.
Maybe
So there's some,
GTA, I don't know.
yeah. So there's some very like, okay, we're getting the Chinese space agency involved as well, and they're just great fellas, and everything's great.
Everything is great. Yeah, they're all gonna. Yeah, and one of the characters, is a Chinese actor, right?
Kelly Yu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's fun. I love branding. I love international appeal.
Yeah.
But that's who they sell these to. Like mentioned up top.
Yeah.
That's why I brought that in. Is because this isn't for like the
right.
US.
See, I think you're right that this movie is sold on the strength of its lead. Love Patrick Wilson.
Yep.
I haven't seen Midway, which is his other Roland Emmerich movie.
Yes, I also
But,
haven't seen that. Maybe it's excellent.
Maybe I'll
But
get to
my
it.
dad saw it and he loves World War II and he was like, I did not like that one.
You don't know what dads are going to like. So.
Don't know.
You know what dads are going to like. So, Halle Berry, always good to see Halle Berry in a thing. Terrific.
It is, isn't it?
I don't know. I think they work well together. You know what I thought?
The moon's hollow.
Here was my thought.
Are we doing spoilers?
Not yet. Here was my thought.
The moon's not hollow.
Patrick Wilson is like a slightly older Chris Pratt. Like he's got
Yes.
that energy to him,
I would agree with that.
despite being like a decade older or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And this whole movie, I was thinking,
old is
Chris
Patrick Wilson?
Pratt better watch out in like a decade. Because then they will seem roughly the same age,
Yeah.
and Patrick Wilson will take all his roles.
Well, okay. So Chris Pratt is what, 41?
Is he?
Let me check.
Patrick Wilson's 46. I'll look it up.
48.
48. Okay.
He's 42, so there's 6 years between them. He better look out right this very second, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's looking good in a leather jacket.
They have the same hair.
They have basically the same hair.
Yeah.
I think he's got more range.
One's not in a cult. Which one? Who's to say?
I don't know. No one knows. Yeah.
But anyway, but it's spoiler time.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna say best movie ever.
No.
It's bad, but I had a good
I
time.
will not say that.
Maybe it's because I got some little chicken burgers in the cinema.
I'm sure that definitely helped. I didn't
Yeah.
get a chicken burger at all.
Wow.
I didn't get a
I had
chicken-
3 little ones.
I
I should have saved one for you, wrapped it up in a napkin, brought it here. You've probably got the munchies right now, James.
I do actually have the munchies, yes,
what I
Mason,
thought,
from
yeah.
all the marijuana I've been eating. But listen, I said before that the moon was hollow. Then I said it wasn't hollow.
Okay, but
It is hollow.
you're saying worst movie ever.
Yeah.
Are we saying? Okay,
Yes,
right.
I would
interesting.
not recommend this. Do not go and see this. You would just waste 2 hours and 10 minutes of your life.
I mean, don't risk your life.
No,
For this movie.
This. That's what I'm saying.
But I think, again, it's the same tropes, and it's like this. You're right. It's the same thing of like just the world being torn to shreds or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's not.
I also think like
I think the idea behind it, like which we're going to talk about in spoilers.
Yeah.
I think it's more interesting than everything Roland Emmerich has done for at least the last.
I
decade.
agree.
I think it's the most interesting thing he's done since Independence Day.
It's simpler than like what essentially a big asteroid is going to hit the Earth, as in the moon.
What's interesting though, I think it was
More complex.
Yeah.
What did I say? I don't know.
It seemed. It felt also kind of interesting. It felt also just the one thing we could talk about before it's spoilers.
Oh, the moon's not hollow then, because I think
Oh, terrific!
Yeah.
I was going to say it does seem, in addition to a bunch of other stuff that's weird about it, is that it seems oddly paced insofar as somebody quite early on has a theory about what the moon. What the deal is with the moon, and then they're proven right.
What's the deal with the moon?
Then they're proven right quite early on.
Yeah,
and it's just accepted as given that this very bizarre reveal is true, and then
Yes.
it is true.
It absolutely
and
is true.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah. Anyway, spoilers.
Okay, spoilers.
The moon is hollow.
It is
I've been
hollow.
doing a few zigs and zags there. Not only is it hollow, it's got a big gyroscopic center.
It's a Dyson sphere,
It's a
essentially.
Dyson sphere. And what it was actually, it's a man-made structure. And by man-made, I mean like a descendant of current humankind who seeded this.
A precursor to humankind, billions of years ago.
Yeah, let me start that again. So yeah, you're right. They're like so. Humankind existed billions of years ago,
And they created a perfect society.
and they live in a big ring around their own planet or whatever. They're doing a halo or whatever.
Yeah.
And so the idea is that then off the back of that, they build an AI system in. Everybody's got a clock, but all the clocks
It's filled with AI.
fill with AI, and they all get out and they make a big AI.
They're like, is this dangerous that we fill all our clocks with dangerous nanotech AI? And they're like, no, it's fine.
That's actually good. It's in glass, so that should be
Yeah.
fine, I reckon. Anyway, all the AI combine together to make a big AI, and they're trying to kill everybody. So they branch out and escape. And in order to reseed the galaxy with humans, they build superstructures, one of which being the moon, and the only one to survive. So they shoot to the moon out into space.
They shoot to the moon out into space.
And it creates Earth.
Yeah.
It
Bit of a twist, eh?
It sounds like that we're high. Am I making this up?
It's
Because you
true.
probably haven't seen this, but this is the story. And then it builds the Earth, and then it's basically a gyroscopic superstructure that revolves around the Earth with the intention one day being, I guess, it's got an AI in it. There's no people in it. It's just an AI.
Yeah.
And the idea is that,
But it's a different AI. It's a benevolent
yeah,
AI.
it's a good one. And then the cloud of AI turns up.
And it
like,
turned up several years ago, and it's like, I'm going to get in.
Yeah, and that's what Patrick Wilson saw, and that's
Yeah.
why they thought it was crazy.
But the thing about the AI, the thing about the evil AI is
Yep.
it's been programmed to...
Imagine pitching this.
I know, right?
Jesus.
It's been programmed to... I think they probably just went, the moon's a space station or something, and,
Yeah.
and they went, all right, fine. So this cloud of evil AI,
Yeah.
it found...
Patrick
It
Wilson.
found the moon. Yeah, it found Patrick Wilson, but it's programmed to only destroy super technology.
Yep.
Or like high modern this space technology with organic humanity
Yes.
in it. So it won't destroy. It wasn't going to come to Earth.
Yep.
Although it probably.
Well, the idea was it wanted to kill the moon, and it
Yes.
also wanted to kill Earth. So I thought the most efficient way to do this is to crash the moon into Earth.
Earth, yeah.
Even though the superstructure, as mentioned, it needed to have human life in it for it to attack it, but it also didn't care.
Yeah.
And it was basically knocking the moon off it was drawing energy from the moon. But I don't understand. So basically, the way they have to kill it, you lure it in using a person.
Yes.
And then you set off an EMP. But I feel like if you're an advanced human race from billions of years ago, you could probably hook a battery up to a stake and then slap an EMP on it and then just get it. How did they not figure this out?
Don't know.
That's incredible. They're like, let's build a giant moon superstructure instead of being maybe no one explained what an EMP is to them. And to this movie's credit, though I did go to the toilets twice.
They never explained.
They never explain what an EMP
They
is, so
assume
that's
we
a
the
bonus
audience.
point.
We the audience know what it is.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It just seems like you didn't figure out EMP. Really? Anyways.
Go on.
So I would have flown that helicopter away from the big wave when the shuttle's taking off. Speaking of, there's a moment where they're like, we can't launch the shuttle to get inside the moon because the moon's a superstructure to put the moon back on course because we only have 2 engines.
Right.
But it turns out because the moon is creeping closer to Earth, that they can then launch the shuttle
Yes.
of 2 engines because of gravity. And then they're looking at each other and we actually have one chance to make this happen, but we need to launch this shuttle in 28 minutes.
Go on.
28 minutes with 3 people, one of which is not an astronaut.
Yeah.
I can't even get my kids in a fucking car in 28 minutes, let alone launch. Hey, I don't know how these people could launch a shuttle. And then essentially what's also happening in this movie a lot.
James. It's because you're stoned.
It's
all
because
the
I'm
time,
stoned all the time.
Yeah.
But what's essentially also happening in this movie is the moon is
You're putting your kids in the microwave, mate. That's what's happening there. That's why you're not putting them in the car.
and my microwave popcorn in the car.
That's right.
But the moon is constantly sneaking up on people. People were having a conversation,
Yeah.
and they turn around, and the moon is just
The moon is just
creeping up.
cresting over the horizon. I think that's probably how. I think that is actually probably how Roland Emmerich pitched this to the Money Man. He went, "What if the moon was stalking the Earth?
I mean, it is anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, in a
but
way.
what if it was getting closer?
It was getting closer." Yeah.
So that's quite fun.
Yeah.
And then basically, when they get inside the superstructure,
Yeah.
it turns into Contact, or have you ever seen Mission to Mars with Gary Sinise?
Yeah, of course I've seen it. No, he was
Hollywood-
busy that day, but I went
Very good.
by myself.
I actually was going to go see this with Hollywood Pete, and I couldn't make it.
All right.
But yeah, he saw this, and he had a lot of thoughts. And he you never believe this, he also did not enjoy it.
Whoa. Wow.
But yeah, it gets all it stops and
It's like popcorn 2001: A Space Odyssey.
yeah, and it grinds
McDonald's 2001:
everything,
A Space
everything
Odyssey.
to a halt. So you can stand in a white room, which is very cheap to do, I'd imagine, and an AI just goes, "Hey, so this is what's going
This
on."
is the origin of what's happening here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't understand. Also, the other thing about this movie is once they get into space,
Go on.
Halle Berry doesn't do anything. They let her fly the shuttle at the end,
Uh-huh.
but she doesn't need to because Patrick Wilson, he's known as like the greatest.
But doesn't he get
pilot.
knocked out at the end of the?
No, he's just standing around because
nice.
he was going to do the AI thing.
Oh,
but
yeah.
then the other guy ends up doing it and whatever. I just feel like Halle Berry did a lot of like calling NASA and being like, we've got to get more jet engines or whatever. You know what I mean? Like if you put her in it, just have her do more stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
She didn't really figure anything out, except for the launch, I guess.
She figured out a launch, yeah.
But that might have been someone else who did that. I think there was two other guys that figured that out or whatever.
In January 2022, Emmerich spoke about the possibility of filming 2 sequels back-to-back if the first film was a success.
That's insanity. Do you want to talk about the ending? I've got other things to say, but do you want to talk about the ending?
Well, let's say they eventually... what happens at the end?
Yep.
Well, first of all, at a certain point, they go. Patrick Wilson goes into a white room, and then he sees his son because they've scanned his brain.
Yeah, but it's not his son, is it?
It's not his son.
His son's being chased by the moon on Earth.
Yeah, the moon and some bandits.
And some bandits. I would have shot that dude straight
I think
up.
the moon and the bandits should have teamed up. I think they would have had more success.
Oh man, would you watch a sequel called Moon and the Bandits?
Yes.
The moon's got a big like cowboy neckerchief on.
Yeah, hell yeah. It's High Moon all over again.
Very good.
Speaking of high.
Bloody high moon right now, am I right?
Yeah. What are we talking
The
about?
ending.
Oh yeah, the AI in the white room can speak to you and be like,
It's doing contact.
It's doing contact. It's like here's the rules. Anyway, at the end, John Bradley's character, who's the genius who figured everything out, and
loves Elon.
but he's never been to space. But then he goes to space, and he's a real big time hero.
Yep.
He stays behind and he detonates the EMP.
Yep.
And the other two escape, and then it defeats the evil AI, and then it's revealed to the world. The moon goes back to its regular orbit.
Yeah, it does. Because every time the AI goes off the center of the structure, the moon slowly rejigs itself.
But it's interesting because right at the start of the movie, the moon is inexplicably about to crash into the Earth. And then everybody at NASA's like, now we have a theory that if we go and we have a look at this hole on the moon, it'll go back to normal. Why would it?
It's a great theory.
Anyway, they defeat the evil AI, it's destroyed, and the moon goes back.
I remember seeing that.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
And the moon goes back to its regular orbit, but now it's like robot moon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's turned into a big robot moon.
Yeah.
I love a movie where the moon's something. Or remember Doctor Who when the moon was a big egg?
Yeah, do you remember Transformers when
the moon was...
Unicron, maybe?
Unicron. No, Earth was Unicron. The moon had a ship on it.
It's still pretty good.
I agree. Dark Side of the Moon, remember?
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
I love it when the moon's something.
Anyway, and at the end, we think John Bradley's character's died, but actually he has died. But
yeah, surprise, he was dead.
They scanned his consciousness now, and he exists in the white room as an AI thing. And the computer, the good AI is like, now it's time to do some stuff. And he's like, what stuff?
Yeah.
Credits.
Let's get started. They should have done REM's Man on the Moon as they hit credits.
Yeah,
Are you
nice,
kidding me? What an
nice.
opportunity to put a song that's not really relevant, but it's got the moon in the title. You know
Moon
what I mean?
River? Moon
Yeah,
River.
Moon River's fine.
Moon Dance?
Yep, that's a great
Nice.
one. All of these
Yeah,
things
yeah,
are good.
yeah.
Blue Moon.
Blue Moon, yeah.
Yeah, all of these different things. But it's a very much a game is on movie.
It
It's
is
the first
very
of the
much
year,
on,
and
yeah.
it's very early.
Very strong
in the
contender.
life of the
Because, like I said, Emmerich is like, we could film 2 sequels back to back.
You couldn't.
I would love to know what.
No, you absolutely couldn't.
I would love to know what the plots are, and also it does feel very much like he's just trying the end of Independence Day Resurgence.
He absolutely
again,
is. That's what it is.
Which for people who don't remember, because nobody saw Independence Day Resurgence, but the aliens from the first Independence Day came back, and then Earth defeats them again, and they're like, oh, there's actually an AI has come to help us, and it's given us the location of a cool place with cool weapons, and then we're going to go into space and we're going to fight the aliens on their turf or whatever.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's probably, he just wants to do that again, because it seems like they're going to be like, okay, well, maybe we'll, because there's all, the moon is also filled with alien spaceships.
That's what I remember about it.
And I think they're probably going to be like, well, now we should go and fight the evil AIs out in space.
Yeah, there's another one out there.
There's tons of them. Heaps.
Or is there one?
No, there's tons.
I can't remember.
There's so many.
So, as I mentioned, this had a budget of $138 to $146 million, and it was actually independently financed.
Whoa.
Which means probably a tax dodge.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah.
It's also based on, the idea came from after reading Christopher Knight and Alan Butler's novel, Who Built the Moon, which debated the moon being an artificial construction, and the script was worked on for 4 years.
Oh.
There you go. Did you know that? Did you know that?
I didn't know that,
I'm just
James.
learning new things all the time.
I didn't know that.
The other thing is there's a moment at the end, because by the way, all the destruction in this is like, it doesn't feel like personal the way that it does in the best of these movies. You mostly just see like grey buildings from a distance, and then a gravity well hits them or a wave, and it's like, you know, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, okay.
Is there an animal that flees in terror? Do we have a dog that survives or not survives? I can't remember. Is
I
there a
shit
cat?
myself because I was scared. Did that
Whoa!
count? Yeah.
Oh wait,
And 'cause I was so high.
John Bradley's mum has a cat.
Oh, yeah.
We don't, but it's never fleeing from something that's exploding. So
John Bradley's got a lot of learning to do. But anyway, at the end, like they're on the phone. I think someone rings someone. Halle Berry rings someone. And she's like, "Where are you?" And before like she could have a chance to answer, the person says, "Isn't the Chrysler Building in New York?" But it gave like no opportunity for her to say, I'm in the Chrysler Building. I'm near the Chrysler Building, but I'm also here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't. It was just edited too weirdly that it didn't work. And also, Michael Pena's dead, and he's got 2 kids, and nobody cares. They're just like, "Where's Michael Pena?" And they're like, "He didn't make it." Oh well, Patrick Wilson, you're our dad again.
Yeah. Plus, you've got a couple of new kids as well.
Yep.
Nice.
This
Lucky you're
movie.
cool and you got a leather jacket.
I love your leather jacket. That's my favorite thing. Also, the world's fucked.
Yeah.
It's fucked.
Yeah, but they'll fix it with the moon.
Oh yeah, they'll use moon technology.
I reckon the big ray will come in the sequel, the inevitable sequel.
Because they fixed the ship, didn't they?
They fixed their little shuttle. When the shuttle enters the moon, it is basically destroyed. But then the good AI in the moon is like, "I'm fixing your ship," and it's brand new, but even better. So I reckon at the start of the sequel, the moon will shoot a ray down at the Earth and fix everything on the Earth.
I agree. Wow, movies they keep making them, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Anything else to say about Moonfall?
Not really. It'd be fun on stream. You know what it'd be good for? It's a good stoner movie.
Not watching this again.
No, I'm absolutely not watching this movie again. But I'll watch another Patrick Wilson movie. There's
Yeah.
I haven't seen Midway. I'll watch that again
Again?
for the first time.
What else would you watch for the first time?
Well, I haven't seen Peacemaker yet.
Okay,
so
yeah.
I'm going to see that.
Yep.
You know what? I've never watched, or maybe I've watched one of them. He's of course in the. We keep saying like, "Oh, Patrick Wilson, he's not. You know, he's a." Everybody does the bit about like he refuses to be famous.
Yes.
But I keep forgetting he's in all the Conjuring movies.
Yeah, and
he's
Insidious
the
and whatever.
main guy in the.
He's
Conjuring.
also in Aquaman.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
he's
he's in Fargo.
Yeah, he's in Fargo. There you go. He's in The Founder.
Yeah.
He's in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. He's the President of the United States voice cameo. Oh, he's in Bone Tomahawk.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, this guy's in a lot of good stuff.
Right. But then he just disappears.
Yeah, he's in Jack Strong.
Don't know what that is.
Yeah, he's in it though, isn't he?
It's undeniable.
I cannot. He was in an episode of Girls that time.
Oh.
Yeah, he absolutely was.
Wow.
Oh, he's also in the Watchmen: The End Is Nigh video game as the voice of Night Owl 2.
Whoa.
There you go.
Very cool.
I agree, it is very cool.
In 2016, he was in 1, 2, 3, 4. He was in 5 movies.
Oh.
That's not bad.
He also did the full Monty Broadway show in 2000. That's fun.
Yeah. Anyway, check out Patrick Wilson.
Did they go full Monty in the Broadway show?
I don't know.
Yeah. Because in the movie,
Go on.
you only see the back of them.
Ah.
So I reckon in the Broadway show, that's the way they do it. They turn around and you only see their bums.
Okay. Terrific.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know
So
exactly
I don't
what
think
you
you can
mean.
do that, like, you know what I mean, on a popular stage Broadway show. I think
yeah.
You'd kill too many grandmas or whatever.
That's true. That is absolutely true.
Yeah. All right. That's that. But there's other things, aren't there?
There's a few other things, yeah.
And I'm happy to contribute to those right now by playing the theme song to the next segment of the show, which is known as...
What we're reading.
Yep.
What we're going to read.
That is absolutely 100% correct, and I wasn't just stalling by asking you that.
Mate, you are stoned. If I didn't know you better, I'd say you're bloody stoned, mate. Stoned.
I'm doing the theme. Westworld.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Perfect in many ways. So, yeah, Mason, this is the segment of the show where we talk about what we're reading or what we're going to read or watch or listen to or whatever. But
Correct.
it's normally about things we've already watched or read or listened to. What are you contributing this week, Mason?
Okay, this
I hope
week
you've bought some absolute
I'm finally
gold.
contributing. This week I watched a few episodes of Reacher, the new
what's that
Amazon
like?
Prime Jack Reacher TV series, following up from the successful Jack Reacher Tom Cruise movies, where Tom Cruise plays an enormous man.
Yep.
Uh,
Two great films back to back.
Back to back,
One
but
is Werner Herzog, is the bad guy, I think.
was it?
Yeah.
There you go.
That's the reason why we changed the name to Caravan of Garbage, because it was initially, a lot of people might not know this, Never Go Back.
Oh, yeah.
Which arguably is a better and more fitting name.
That's
and
right.
will lead to less people being angry at us.
Did it lead us to change it, or was it just a coincidence?
No, we changed it. I remember having the discussion. We're like, if this is a big franchise, ends up being a big franchise, then this is just going to get lost in SEO.
Exactly. Well, now Jack Reacher has been recast as an actual enormous man, Alan Richardson.
Yes, who's played a Ninja Turtle.
Yes, and he was Aquaman in Smallville, and he was
You're right.
he was Hank Hall Hawk on Titans.
Oh,
but he got written out of season 3 quite quickly. I'm assuming because he needed to go and film this.
Oh, I get you.
And a good call, I think.
Is this good?
It's pretty good. I mean, it's I'm obviously not familiar with the source material, but
it's a man who loves.
It's exactly what it's the premise is exactly the same as like the movies, the Cruise movies, but he actually does seem intimidating because he is enormous.
He's 188. I was thinking of Smallville.
Yes.
Kristen
Kirk is also in this. Yeah, she's a smaller role in this. It's pretty good. I enjoy his performance in this. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But he's one of those guys who's like enormous and really good at fighting. But he also does that thing which I think I probably would have considered super cool like many years ago, but now I just find it kind of annoying, which is the thing where he can look at somebody and be like, I know by the way you looked slightly to the left there that you're divorced and you just gave up smoking and you went to Harvard or whatever. You know, he's got that super. He's the best.
He's got the Sherlock thing.
He's got the Sherlock thing. Exactly. Yeah.
God, Sherlock ruined that, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, everything ruined that.
Yeah. But I think it's pretty solid. I'm like halfway through. So it's on Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah, but
where's he get his money?
He was in the armed forces in some capacity.
Cockfighting.
Yeah, that's right. And he bets on cockfighting. He knows all the best places.
No, he doesn't just bet; he's involved.
Oh, he's right. Right. No, he has an army pension or something, and he gets wired to a Western Union, so he just goes to a Western Union.
I bet he likes physical cash.
Yeah, he's all about cash. He's one of those guys. Yeah.
God damn, that's good stuff. He's a man that you don't often see anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like men today.
Yeah.
Men today, Mason.
Yeah, he goes real.
Hard men create they're hard times. Soft boiled eggs create soft, hard men. Soft men create hard type men. And hard men have scrambled times.
Man, I would love some scrambled eggs right now. Really good.
Because you're so high.
Yeah. But also scrambled
eggs. You familiar with that expression though?
No, yeah. Yep. It's really good. Thought it was pretty good. I guess I initially thought that it was going to be so. Apparently, each season is going to cover a different book, and this particular one is like the debut, which came out in 1997. So there's a lot of if this goes well, there's a lot of seasons to get through.
How many Jack Reacher books are there?
Like 100, probably.
Same author?
Yes, I don't think it's 100, but there's a lot. But I thought initially that each episode was going to be one book. Yeah, but I think it's one season equals one book, which makes more sense, and it also saves on sets and so forth.
Lee Child has been doing a book a year.
Yeah,
literally a book a year.
God,
the latest one was called No Plan B.
Whoa,
No Plan B.
Whoa,
and book number 24 was called Blue Moon.
Oh,
book number 21. This sounds like Babysitters Club stuff. It's called Night School.
Night School, nice.
This is really good stuff.
It's good stuff.
Number 15 is Worth Dying For.
Oh, very nice.
This is all I'm loving these descriptions. Anyways,
what have you been reading?
I've been watching, a couple of things. You know how He-Man's on and Woke He-Man. And some people didn't like Woke He-Man. I quite liked Woke He-Man. And I ended up, this was actually late last year, but I ended up finishing the second season. So the second part of season 1.
Of Woke He-Man, sure.
I thought it was, so that was the Kevin Smith version.
Kevin Schmish.
I thought it was a little bit weaker than the first half, but I still really liked it. I just like seeing all like the weird stuff and characters like pop up. And also being like, you can kill a bunch of these, who cares?
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean, kill Moss Man or whatever. But I still liked it, but also it seemed like it got to the end and everybody kept like leveling up. But like, now I've got the power of whatever.
Oh, sure,
everybody
sure.
kept like
I've got a new girdle.
Yeah, people would become like a bigger version of whatever. Like even He-Man does he gets extra He-Man at one point.
Probably because of something to do with hard-boiled eggs.
Hard eggs create hard times. You know what I mean? If you can't eat an egg, that's a hard time for you.
Yes,
because the egg's too hard.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, there's another Netflix animated He-Man Master of the Universe show that came out last year. It's a 3D animated one that's more geared towards kids.
Okay.
And I actually happened to watch some of it today because my son was like, I want to watch this, new He-Man.
I'm
thing.
jonesing for content,
I'm
he
jonesing
said.
for content. So we sat down and we ripped a big bong together.
That's great.
And we watched this new 3D animated one. And it's like it messes around with a lot of the lore and what it's like a reboot.
No.
But you know what?
Why wasn't everybody mad about that?
That's because, I don't know, there's less women in it, I guess.
Yeah.
That's not why people are mad, actually. It's because of other reasons. Anyway, but it's all right.
Okay.
As a kid's
Great.
show, it's all right.
All right.
It's better than the original. People
you
don't
go.
like hearing that, but it's not good.
Yeah, very
lot
little.
of-
Very little is worse than the original.
Yeah, a lot of and again, the reason they keep making it is because the idea behind it and the concepts and the designs
Yeah.
and the characters, that's what works.
They already
about it.
have them.
Yeah, they have
So
them.
they don't have to
They're happy
make anything new. So that's why they do that.
Keep that going.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, I wouldn't say go and watch it, but if you've got kids who might be interested in stuff like this, it's it's totally worth.
And if
watching.
you have kids that love the moon, you should take them to see Moonfall. So they're like, this is what your moon's all about, kids. Your moon's mean and evil.
Yeah.
Stop loving the moon so much, you weirdo.
that could twist in on them because they'd be like, well, the moon's actually got an AI in it, Dad.
Dad, do you not know
that's
anything about the
good.
moon? The moon.
Is that
Dad.
is it time to move on to the next segment, or do you got anything else you've been?
Oh, I rewatched No Time to Die because it's out on.
Oh, cool.
It's out
And?
it's on the home media. Still good.
It's good, isn't it?
Oh my goodness.
I like it. Good.
I think it might be his second best tuxedo.
What's the first one?
Quantum of Solace.
With the one that he changes into at the start?
The one where he goes to the opera.
Yes.
He goes to the opera and he gets everybody on his Sony Ericsson.
Yep.
That's his best tuxedo.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, also, speaking of watching things, we've been rewatching the Dark Knight trilogy because, yes, we tricked everybody last week.
Yes, that's right.
Apologies. We actually did Twilight. But no, the Dark Knight
You say
trilogy-
trick, but just a lie.
Yeah, a lot of people have been like, you got me. But it's like, I just lied to you. And so, you shouldn't feel bad that I got you because you put your trust in me and I just did a bold-faced lie.
That's true.
And I'm amazed that we didn't get flagged off the internet. I'm genuinely amazed.
Oh, you think that YouTube could ban you for just being a bad bloke?
Yeah,
Whoa.
like spam and misinformation or whatever.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so there you go.
Don't do that out there, listeners.
The dislike ratio is at 93%.
So
I might-
93% like it?
yes, and it's
Okay.
normally more like 98 to.
Oh, wow.
to
Some people
99.
felt very betrayed.
Oh!
Well, back on track. Bloody
Back
hell.
on track.
Yeah.
Mason, what's the next?
Settle down,
What's the next
everyone.
segment of the show?
The next segment of the show is the letters segment of the show.
I agree.
It's got a theme song and it goes like this. The classic one was
Letters, oh letters, we love you. Some letters, they're only a day away.
You know they're here right
You
now.
jealous,
We're going to do
Mason?
letters.
Yeah,
it's good. Thanks. You're doing a sort of slow head roll
Yeah,
situation.
man. That's what you got to do. This is a segment of the show where people might want to email the show.
That's right.
For example, weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com might be an email address that you would want to hit us up at. If you've got a thought or a question or a recommendation or whatever. Or hashtag weeklyplanetpod on Twitter.
That's right. Here's an email from Jordan.
Hello,
He says, I
Jordan.
hope you're proud of yourself.
I am, thank you.
Last week, I
Oh.
used YouTube Premium to download your Batman Begins caravan of garbage. I had a short flight for work and was
Oh,
happy to
no.
have some of my favorite boys comment on one of my favorite series. I'm a director and I had all of my grips sitting behind me. The flight took off and I started the video only to be greeted by a commentary on a tween vampire movie. Wearing headphones, all of my crew could only assume I was watching a thorough breakdown of Twilight for 20 plus minutes. I mean, you were. Here's what you were watching.
That's what you did.
For anyone that wasn't my crew, I'm sure they were equally confused as they saw a large bald man with a big beard watching Edward continuously run around like a muppet. I've now lost complete control of my crew. They've lost all respect for me, and this commercial is in shambles. I hope you're happy. Can I be the official unemployed director of the podcast? From Jordan, yes.
Absolutely, Jordan.
Can, but I mean, you watched it. You could have just
you could have
closed your
turned it off.
laptop or whatever.
You know what? I know you said, I hope you're proud of yourself. We're actually proud of you.
Yeah, we're proud of you for sticking
What you love, Twilight.
Twilight. You love Twilight. You love Twilight. Any grips listening? Jordan loves Twilight.
What a strange movie, though, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of stuff in it, isn't there?
It certainly doesn't stop. That
yeah.
Muppet Run, some of my favourite cinema. Mason, I have also a tweet.
Okay, go on.
This is from White Walker, who says, Spider-Man No Way Home plot hole, also spoilers.
Okay.
Here we go.
Spoilers for Spider-Man No Way Home, even though Tom Holland spoiled it all already.
Since Stranger's spell worked, what happens with all the evidence that Peter is Spider-Man, such as the cardboard cutouts with his face plastered on it? Would computer files computer files with evidence? Hashtag
Yes.
WeeklyPlanetPod. They'd go.
They would go.
with
It's
magic.
true.
It's like when then the snap brought everybody back, but like if you're in a plane, you didn't materialize midair, etc. It's just part of the magic,
Yes.
and we just have to go along with it.
That's
Unless
right.
people just figure it out straight away. It's like, I've got this hard drive with a picture of Spider-Man without a mask. That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
What next, Mason?
Ooh.
Because I've got another one, if you would prefer it.
No, you go ahead.
It's
Go
from
right
the
ahead.
Dingle Dangle Scarecrow.
I love
remember
it.
that song? A dingle dangle scarecrow with the
No.
Yeah, it's like a song.
No.
Anyway, if The Mandalorian was a video game, Book of Boba Fett would be the DLC. We had to explore a side character bit, and it wraps back into the main story. They should have just called it The Mandalorian Chapter of Boba Fett. #Weekly Planet Pod. Now, you haven't been keeping up.
No, it's
with
true.
Book of Boba Fett, but I now will spoil the latest Book of Boba Fett.
I'm
though.
aware of
If you've been on Twitter, you've probably seen it. But Luke Skywalker turns up for a lot of it. Ahsoka turns up for it. Grogu.
Sorry, a monstrous simulation of Luke Skywalker shows
It's
up.
way better this
Okay.
time around. But you know what is a little bit off-putting?
Yes.
The voice is an AI simulation.
That's what I've read.
Yeah.
For people who don't know, that they use.
I mean, it's still incredible.
They did the thing that people I thought were only doing for jokes, which is there's some sort of software
Yep.
that you feed into it
Yep.
a lot of samples of somebody's voice, and then it can do a reasonable facsimile of the voice.
Yep.
Mark Hamill's still alive. What are you doing?
I
Just
don't
get
know.
Mark Hamill.
I mean, he does sound different, but just still get him to do
Yeah.
it. It's interesting because they put in like all the movies, obviously, with like, the clean audio from that. And he did a few of the audiobooks. So he put those and a few other things. So that's what they're basing it off. But it does end up being quite wooden. But the face, and there are moments where it's not, it doesn't look as good and whatever. But because they hired that guy, it seems. And it's not just him because there'd be other people working on it. It's just so much better.
Yeah,
but
good.
it's also, I spend the whole time going, looking for the seams in it.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
But no, I think all this is, I don't know why they're doing it this way in particular for the Book of Boba Fett, but I think this whole thing, this current Star Wars televisual run,
Yes.
and they're going to do an Ahsoka series, and maybe they'll end up doing a Luke Skywalker series and whatever, and more Mandalorian and whatever.
Yeah.
I think this is going to encompass a bigger threat, and it's probably Thrawn, and then they'll bring in the original cast and they'll de-age them, whatever, or deepfake them, and then they'll have all these kind of newer characters and ones from Clone Wars and Rebels and the ones that are alive, and they'll do the Thrawn thing.
I think they'll deepfake him. I think they might deepfake everybody.
I think
now that you've mentioned this, I wonder if Luke Skywalker is the test case, and you just go, "Hey, Harrison Ford, you don't have to come in and do anything.
Yeah. You don't even have to be here at all.
You don't have to be any. We have enough of you talking that we
Yeah.
can just assemble a Han Solo without you.
Yeah.
Can you sign over the rights? Here's $50 million.
Yep.
And we'll just
What
do
would he
Han
care?
Solos forever. He doesn't care, exactly.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, and the best thing about it is you don't have to do any interviews because you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
They'd be like, what's happening in the new Star Wars? You could be like, I don't know, man. I'm not doing it. Han Solo is doing
Yeah,
it.
exactly. The character of Han Solo is taken on a life of his own. But no, I think that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I think as a whole, this is all one narrative. And I think they're Andor will be mostly its own thing and Kenobi will be mostly its own thing, but there'll still be links because it's all Star Wars. But yeah,
Nice.
they're doing Thrawn.
I love it.
I think. I don't know.
Here's an email from Elliot.
Hello, Elliot.
Subject line, biting your tongue when you are right.
Why don't you bite your tongue, Mason? Let me read the email. Pass me your phone.
I won't.
Okay.
It's my thing. I do the email.
It's true. You do the email. So.
Hey, James and Mason, I hope you had a good start to the year, and I hope your COVID wasn't too bad. James had COVID.
Actually,
I didn't have
Mason
COVID.
had COVID.
I've never had COVID, and I'll never die. I've recently recalled a time back when The Boys Season 2 was airing weekly and was discussing it while getting my haircut with a barber who happened to watch it too. He was telling me how awesome he thought it was when Homelander flew down, got angry, and lasered absolutely everybody in the crowd in a very gory scene. He couldn't wait to find out the implications of that in the next episode, to which I replied, pretty sure that was a dream sequence. He was incredibly confident, stating, no, it definitely happened. I was so sure it didn't happen, so just said, all right, fair enough, in fear he would give me a buzz cut if I argued anymore. I'm just wondering if you two have ever been in a situation publicly or with someone you don't know very well that has maybe said something about a movie, TV show, or pop culture that you absolutely know is wrong but can't correct them on like you would a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the time.
And
But
I don't say anything.
I don't say anything either.
Yeah.
Or also, I think everybody else's knowledge of pop culture has outstripped mine by like several orders of magnitude at this point.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So you just shut your mouth.
But it's a lot like for me. It's usually like trivia questions to which I know way more than that.
yeah,
and
and
it'd be
you're
like,
what do they know about
yeah,
this
yeah.
thing? Yeah,
It's always like, what's Robin's secret identity? And I want to be like, well, which Robin are you talking
Yeah.
about? There's a lot of Robins.
yeah. You don't want to go up and have to argue your
Yeah.
point.
Do you mean your answer is Dick Grayson because it's the one in the 60s TV series, but actually the current one is Damian Wayne or something?
Yeah.
Actually, now that I've started talking, I seem to recall that maybe I think Damian Wayne isn't the current Robin. Maybe they've gone backwards. Maybe it's Tim Drake again. I actually don't know. Maybe Damian Wayne has taken on some sort of new superheroic identity. And I'm sorry I've wasted your time. I'm just gonna leave this pub and walk into the ocean. That's what I'm gonna do. If I'm honest.
I actually had a very recent encounter where I was a dick, but I was trying to make a joke. And but what happened was somebody said,
Is this in real life?
Yeah, in real life. The dads at school who I'm friends with was like, well, the group we were talking about Julian Assange, and he said he looks like a grown-up Draco Malfoy, and I said, I think. I think you mean Lucius Malfoy, who is grown up, or something like that. And then I'm like, I'm sorry, that was really rude. And like,
wow, okay, yeah.
Like I was making a joke, but it just came across like I was just being an asshole. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
This isn't pop culture, but I was in a cab once in the US.
Oh yeah.
When I was there a few years back.
And you said, "Let me drive."
I said,
and they're
I'll
like,
do
"No."
the driving.
Wow.
And the guy said, 9/11 came up, and I definitely didn't bring it up. I'll tell you that much. But he goes, yeah, it was like 2011 was like a crazy year. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure it was 2001. Which it is. Like, I know that for a fact.
Okay.
And he's like, no, it was 2011. I'm like, all right, man.
Wow.
If you say so.
Maybe he just had a really bad 2011.
Maybe he did.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mostly just let it go. Anyway, what's next?
Great question.
Is it nothing?
It might be some other stuff.
Okay.
I was going to say, I'm not, these days I'm not interested in correcting anybody on the internet or being corrected on the internet.
Oh, that goes both ways, doesn't it?
Yeah. Like, unless it's life or death. Like, if I was on the podcast and I went, you know what, I've heard it's a pretty good idea to drink bleach.
Yeah.
I think people should
Is that what you
correct me.
think?
Yeah, that's exactly what I think, and I think people should correct me. But anything below that, not interested.
That's very interesting.
It is very interesting.
And I'm impressed.
This is from David.
David?
He says, I got pulled over while listening to the podcast.
No, you didn't.
Hey, mates, I was listening to the podcast during my morning commute and got pulled over while driving. It may have been the fact that I was driving 20 miles per hour over the speed limit, but I choose to blame it on the curse that is your podcast. Anyway, if you could send me the $90 USD to cover the cost of the ticket, I would greatly appreciate it. If you're unwilling to do so, can I at least be the official baby driver of the pod? That's from David
send
from Iowa.
you the money.
That seems low.
How much was it?
20 miles an hour over the speed limit.
Yeah.
$90 US.
That's not right, is it?
No, I mean maybe it's what it's like in
That's what
Iowa.
I mean.
But
Oh,
that's
might
like
be.
what's 20 miles per hour in metric
I don't know,
kilometers?
like
I'm going to look it up.
36.
That's low. You would be out on your bloody.
You'd be out in your ear.
Yeah.
You'd be out on you, wouldn't you?
Yeah. 20 miles per hour to kilometers. That's 30 kilometers over the speed limit.
Yep.
You've lost your license in Australia.
Absolutely
for
you
sure.
have, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And that'd be like $400.
Yep.
Yeah. So
I did get
that's a bloody
I think
bargain.
I was doing it was like 50 in a 40 zone.
Yeah.
And it was in the morning and it was because the school zone.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they're 40 in Australia.
Yeah.
And it was like 9:28.
Yeah.
And it stops at like 9:30.
Uh-huh.
And I just dropped my son at kindergarten.
Uh-huh.
And Claire was pregnant in the car. And I just was like, just like not aware of anything.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I pulled over and you get the like, why were you speeding? And I'm like, I don't, just give me the thing. Like, I just fuck to it.
Yeah.
I'm not making excuses.
Yeah, James.
Yeah.
In Victoria, 30 to 34 kilometres over the speed limit.
They
This
kill
is,
you.
This is for nobody but us. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, 3 months automatic license suspension, $1,272.
Fucking.
$90, bargain.
Bunch of
Lucky for some. Lucky for some over there in the US,
It's our
$90.
nerd, rule-obsessed country,
Yeah,
Mason.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway. Great stuff. Anyway, drive safe, everyone.
Yeah, drive safe, folks.
Yeah. Anything else?
That's the whole podcast.
That was a fun time.
We had a fun time. We learned some
I
stuff.
mean, I wish I knew what I bloody said, Mason.
Yeah.
I'm glad we only have to do this one once, you know what I mean, the 420 thing.
Yeah, the stoner episode.
Don't think it's very sustainable, is it?
No, that's true, yeah. Pretending to be stoned for more than an hour. God, it's exhausting.
It is exhausting, isn't it?
Exhausting.
Yeah, do you want to wrap
Wish I
this
had
up
something to
then?
bloody relax me, you know what I mean?
I hear.
Some
Walking in the ocean.
I mean, yeah, I was going to say.
Drowning is apparently a beautiful death.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
it's really
very,
nice.
very tranquil.
Don't do it, folks. Don't do it. Folks, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Thank you for telling your friends about the podcast. Thank you for lying to your friends to get them to listen to the podcast.
That's right.
Thank you for subscribing to the podcast. Thank you for leaving a 5-star review if you were so inclined. You can do it in pretty much every app there is.
Absolutely, you
James,
can.
you got any there?
This one's from Hot Sith, who says, 5 stars, Drive to Work podcast. Thank you guys for the laughs and entertainment news on my commute to work and home. You are welcome. And Scrawny Fluff says, this podcast is a curse. Once I started listening to this podcast, I can't hear any of the other noises that aren't two Irish/British guys yapping about things I don't care about. If I could give it less than 5 stars, I would, but it seems the curse has too much control over me now. So there you go.
Very nice, folks. If you want to get into contact with us, I mean, you can do it in some people attempt to do it in the reviews.
That's
You
right.
can do it, I guess, if you wanted to just say hello to us. We'd
Absolutely
probably respond
can.
if you gave us 5 stars, obviously. But otherwise, you can find us at Weekly Planet Pod, at Gmail, at Twitter, at Bandcamp. At
Sort
a
of.
fourth Facebook.
I stopped putting stuff on Bandcamp.
Oh, okay.
There's
fine.
still things there.
Well, it's going to take me at least 6 months to reorganize that part of my brain that barely knows how to do this. You can also go to the Planet Broadcasting Great Mates Facebook group. You can go to the Weekly Planet Pod subreddit and Discord. You're going to have some fun chats about pop culture and podcasting over there with a bunch of people. Thousands of bloody
people having a good old time, yeah.
You can also follow The Weekly Planet on Twitter and at Raw Collings. Both of those are our friend Rob Collings, who edits this podcast and does so much more.
Absolutely.
He edits videos and all
I've got some
sorts of-
shocking news after this, by the way.
Do you?
Absolutely shocking. Breaking news.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's about the TV show Neighbours.
Really?
Yes.
That's very exciting.
It's shocking news, Mason.
Was
Sorry,
Collings
keep
on
going.
Neighbours?
Yeah.
Was he?
No.
Okay.
This is unrelated.
Oh.
I just saw this bit of news because I do a scour of the news while you do this.
I
in
thought
case
for a
miss
second there was
something.
Collings news.
Oh.
And then you come, okay, that's how my brain works.
You're
Or
bloody
in
smoking,
fact, doesn't
mate.
work. You can follow me on Twitter at Wikipedia Brown
What's this
and
guy
on
smoking?
Instagram at Nick Maso, NickMaseeau. James is Mr. Sunday Movies everywhere. If you want to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/Mr. Sunday Movies. That's MR Sunday Movies.
That's right.
You can chuck in a buck or any amount. You wouldn't miss. That's the key. If you like,
Yeah,
a
exactly.
$1 fell out of my pocket. I don't care.
Give us the money.
Give us the money. We took it out of your pocket. We sliced your pocket with a razor blade. We took it. One of our razor blades in our hat.
That's right. There's a huge back catalogue there.
That's exactly right.
BigSandwich.co. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the big money option.
yeah,
It's
that's right.
BigSandwich.co
That's a
for
different
$9 dues per month. Bonus podcasts, movie commentaries, all kinds of fun stuff. We're having a great time over there.
That's right, exactly.
Do that much. It's genial rambling.
Genial, good and fun times.
Yeah, it gets
All
pretty
right.
hectic sometimes. Also,
Boy, does it.
We've got T-shirts over at tpublic.com. You just search for the Weekly Planet. There's all kinds of stuff. There's official ones. There's unofficial ones. There's ridiculous ones.
Yep.
Get
all out there.
Get a fun one. Get a
Fun
fun
one.
one. Make your own fun one.
Have a fun
We don't
one.
mind. Make your own fun one.
Yep.
Send to us.
Exactly.
Maybe the T-shirt could say, make your own fun one. The Weekly Planet, etc.
Etc.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you to the Brute and the Basilisk and Rackham for all musical
that
themes.
things.
Next week, we forgot to do Snake Eyes.
Oh, shit. Next week then. But also next week we have something else is happening.
We're going to do Peacemaker eventually.
Might be final Peacemaker
I haven't
next
watched
week.
Peacemaker yet.
Or two
but I
left.
will. If there's a couple left,
There is final Boba Fett next week. And then on the Monday it's the Super Bowl, but that will be after the episode
Okay,
and
well,
whatever.
we'll let everybody know. But in the meantime, for people who are wondering why we haven't done Peacemaker yet, I haven't watched it yet. But also, we figure we'll wait till the end and then we'll do a
we'll do it
series
all.
wrap up. We can do the same with Boba Fett.
Exactly.
What's next week? And the Super Bowl will probably be big reveals.
Yeah.
We found what Arnold Schwarzenegger Zeus was about. It was an ad
is
for
it?
something.
Great, terrific.
Batteries or
I think
something,
they're
I don't know.
doing
Coffee, I don't know.
I think there's going to be a multiverse of madness and another trailer.
Yeah,
happening
yeah,
there
yeah,
as
yeah,
well
that's very
and-
exciting.
and whatever. So that's fun. Anyway, here's the news concerning Neighbours. Channel 5 has now confirmed that its final episode of Neighbours will air in summer. Channel 5, I guess, is the Channel 10 station that they own that they air it on.
Oh, in the UK.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, wait, no. Sorry, Neighbours is still going, but it still airs in the UK.
Yeah.
And now it's no longer going to be airing.
Whoa.
So there
That
you
might
go.
spell the end for Neighbours because nobody watches Neighbours in Australia
Exactly.
anymore, as far as I know.
Now, Neighbours will be dropped from the UK TV schedule after nearly 4 decades.
Whoa.
It'll increase investment in original British dramas.
Oh.
So if people don't know Neighbours, it was basically a rite of passage for any Australian actor, whether you liked it or not.
Yeah.
Russell Crowe has been on there, Kylie Minogue, Jason Donovan, Guy Pearce probably.
Yeah.
Can you think of any others? Sandra Bullock.
Alf from Neighbours.
Alf from Neighbours was definitely on there.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of anyone else on there. Donald Sutherland, speaking of Moonfall, went through Neighbours as well.
That's great.
That's pretty much it, isn't it?
Charlton Heston.
Was on there as well.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Incredible stuff. All right, thanks, everybody. A little bit shorter this week, but what do you do? Blame Moonfall. It's not our fucking fault. Is it, Mason?
I mean, we could have talked about any of the innumerable other movies that have come out recently. Better movies.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe next week we could do another movie.
Yeah.
Let's put it up to people. Should tweet at us. What do they want?
What do you want?
Maybe we could put up a poll.
Do you want us to finish the Twilight episodes on this?
Oh yeah,
as opposed to on Caravan of Garbage.
Wow. So we got Nightmare Alley. That's out.
Yep. Hasaguchi.
That's
out.
That's outside
Dal messaged and said Nightmare Alley. Yeah, he messaged me and was like, guess what, it's out. Guess what?
Other movies.
Yeah.
I'll check on the way home. I'll go past the movie theatre. I'll have a look.
You go past the red box. All right, thanks, everybody.
Grab that gem, you guys. We will see you next week.
Goodbye.
Don't speed and don't walk into the ocean to drown.
No, don't do it, man.
Yep.
This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
I mean, if you want. It's up to you.